Good afternoon everyone. I would like to thank the organizing committee of Ruby Hall Clinic for inviting me to deliver the talk on cancer pain management and palliative care. Let us see how the difference it makes when we come to pain and palliative care in the cancer pain. Roadmap. The inclusion in my topic will be magnitude of problem, overview of cancer pain, opioids which is considered as gold standard in the treatment, pain interventions, total pain management concept, then palliative care which is the need of an hour, interdisciplinary team approach, barriers in the implementation, national policy making for palliative care, take home message and summary. So, pain and palliative care which is an emerging specialty worldwide, especially third world countries. As per WHO estimate, more than 15 million people in 2020 are in need of pain and palliative care. The pain prevalence ranges from 64% to 82% in all cancer patients in all stages of cancer disease, right from the diagnosis, terminal phase, on anti-cancer treatment and curative treatment. Every year, an estimated 40 million people are in need of palliative care. 78%, which is very significant figure, are living in low and middle income countries like ours, but only about 14% of people are currently receiving it. So, the global need of palliative care will continue to grow as a result of aging population, increasing life expectancy and rising burden of diseases. But the cancer pain remains underreported, under-recognized and untreated. Now, we will go to next slide. Common symptoms in cancer pain, as we all know, all like anorexia, constipation, nausea are the symptoms patient presents with in cancer disease. But pain has been reported the commonest symptom which brings the patient to the doctor. Let us see the etiology of pain in cancer. It could be disease related like infiltration of disease tissues, nerve compression, spread in the bone, muscles, lymphedema and raised intracranial pressure like neural tumors. Some comorbidities in the patients which can be coexisting already like low backache, arthralgia, angina or history of trauma. Treatment related like surgery, radiation or chemotherapy. Debility related problems like pressure sore, constipation or bladder spasm can also give rise to cancer pain. So, which type of patients can be treated for pain management? All patients being treated are from the stages of all cancer diseases, like from the time of diagnosis, post-surgery pain, pain in the cancer recurrence, metastatic diseases, palliative chemo, radiotherapy or terminally ill patients. So, the important point to be considered here is pain management can be done in every stage of cancer, right from diagnosis throughout the treatment till palliative care. This is the WHO ladder recommended for cancer pain management, a stepwise approach. This is revised ladder which has included step 4 in the recent revision that includes interventional pain management. The most important aspect to be considered here is medicine to be given by the mouth, by the clock, by the ladder approach, and it has to be individualized as per the need of the patient, disease stage and progression of the disease. Along with adjuvants, it forms the basis of treatment. So, opioids, as we all know, this is the basic classification of opioids: pure agonist, partial agonist, mixed agonist, antagonist and antagonist. You can find this classification and drugs everywhere. The point to be considered here is these are the mixed antagonists like pentazocine, butorphanol and nalbuphine, which has got ceiling effect for analgesia. So, if they are used with pure agonists like tramadol or morphine, they can precipitate acute pain and opioid withdrawal symptoms. So, one should keep in mind, especially while prescribing two drugs of the same group. Then there are few indications like we have seen in WHO ladder: mild pain, moderate pain, severe pain. For mild pain, we can start with basic drugs like paracetamol, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. When it is moderate pain, weak opioids like tramadol, tapentadol or even low dose morphine can be prescribed. For severe pain, we have to start pure agonist like morphine, and when it is severe pain, we have to start with IV dosages. They can be titrated over the period of 10 to 15 minutes, and looking after the side effect and pain relief, we can escalate the dose. And once we reach the total dose, We can divide it into 24 hours dosages and then shift the patient on sustained release product like controlled release morphine. So, it improves patient compliance and quality of life. There is something called as breakthrough pain seen in 20 to 80% of patient, which is the pain in addition to otherwise medically stable pain, controlled pain with regular doses. For this pain, we have to prescribe the same medicine which is almost 1/10 of the dose as and when needed. The pain is sudden onset, acute and happens with the movement. So, the extra dose of same medication works, but if we are needing 2 to 4 extra doses in 24 hours, we have to increase the routine scheduled dose as per the requirement. After this, quick onset and offset preparations like oral transmucosal fentanyl in the form of lollipop or nasal spray or inhalers are also available. Transdermal fentanyl patches, which we all are aware of, are used in cancer pain management, but the point to remember here is they are very slow onset, like 12 to 18 hours. So, they are not useful for breakthrough or acute onset pain. Coming to opioids, we all are aware of side effect, but that should not restrain us from giving opioids. As we say in pain practice, the hand which prescribes morphine should also prescribe the drug for constipation or laxative. We all know constipation is the most common side effect which can be easily dealt with stimulant or osmotic laxatives. Then coming to dysphoria, confusion or giddiness, we can lower the opioid dose. Adequate hydration for renal clearance of the drug is to be suggested. Changing the opioid could be option or adding small dose of neuroleptic drugs. Pruritus, urticaria can be dealt with antihistaminics. Tolerance to analgesia can be overcome with change of dose or opioid rotation, and physical dependence, addiction, though they are not very commonly seen in our patients, should be kept in mind. Opioid tolerance, hyperalgesia, dependence, these are the terms which should be known by every physician while dealing with opioid prescriptions. Like we have said in WHO ladder for pain management, there is introduction of 4th step of ladder. Invasive techniques like interventions in terms of nerve blocks or neurolysis with phenol, alcohol or radiofrequency are the advanced techniques. These help in breakthrough acute severe pain, or when patient presents in very acute pain, we can go by the reverse approach of management rather than treating by 1, step 2 or step 3. We can directly undergo interventions with neurolytic techniques and then stabilize the patient depending on mild, moderate or severe pain on the drug management. This is the list of commonly performed interventions in cancer pain. For head and neck, we can go for sphenopalatine or stellate ganglion block, thoracic block for CA lung patient, splanchnic nerve or celiac plexus block, lumbar sympathectomy, superior hypogastric or inferior hypogastric for all abdominal or pelvic pains, ganglion impar block for urogynecology or perineal pain. Targeted nerve blocks can be given for restricted area of pain management. Continuous epidural catheter for chest or abdominal or lower limb pains are very useful in cancer. Again, this is something new. Central desensitization with the help of IV infusion of lignocaine or ketamine can help in patients with intractable pain. Obviously, it is to be